Today we're going to tell stories, all kinds of stories for all ages. Now you may think that a story is just something you verbally tell each other, but stories are really neat because they could have music with them. They could have a puppet telling a story. There could be a touch of magic. There could be some motions, all kinds of ways of telling stories, and we're going to explore them all today. In the beginning, there were no such creatures as birds. The trees stood alone in the forest, and their branches swayed silently in the wind. And on the third day, one of those birds woke up in a bad mood. Now, if you've ever been in a bad mood, you know it's not a pretty sight. Well, this bird got up and stomped up and down the branches. Look at me, look at us, we're all the same, boring.
There sat Sam, looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar. He was wearing a smile you could see for a mile, and he said, "Please close the door. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was a night on the marge of Lake LaBarge. I cremated Sam McGee."
We believe in the magic of costume, which means for some of our stories, you may see us dressed as we are right now in vaudeville, or you could find us in a scarecrow, a leprechaun, a clown, an elf, or even a witch. For you see, the costume can help to tickle your imagination. In Ireland, 'tis said that the forests are so thick with trees that you could travel from one town clear to the next by walking across the treetops. Now, what lives down below in that plush green land? Why, little elves, Irish elves, called leprechauns.
He was sitting underneath the pyramids playing on his guitar going ching, ching, ching. You see, dear hearts, he was just a-learning, and he was sitting there practicing when he was supposed to be watching the sheep. And his daddy come walking up and he said, "Hey, little David, what are you doing?" I'm practicing my guitar, Dad." So little David up jumps and grabs a grub, and he takes off across the sand dunes. But first he said bye to his daddy, and then he said bye to the sheep, and the sheep said bye. And about this time we heard another fierce sound come up stone, and it went clomp, 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 clomp. Well, that's the sound a giant makes when he walks, you know. And the giant comes upon him, and he spreads the palm trees apart, and he looks down and he said, "Who wants to fight?" And little David looked up and said, "Oh, giant, I'll fight you."
Fall is a fine time for stories about witches and goblins and ghosts. And here's one about a particular witch named Baba Yaga. When Baba Yaga got angry, she got very angry. And what did she do? She stomped her feet, she pulled her hair, she pinched her nose.
Oh, the fox went out on a chilly night, prayed to the moon to give him light. He had many a mile to go that night before he reached the town. Oh, town, oh, town, oh. He had many a mile to go that night before he reached the town. Oh. He ran till he came to his own den. There were the little ones, 8, 9, 10. "Daddy, Daddy, better go back again. It must be a mighty fine town, oh, town, oh, town, oh. Hey, Daddy, Daddy, better go back again. It must be a mighty fine town." Then the fox and his wife, without any strife, cut up the goose with a carving knife. They never had such a supper in their life, and the little ones chewed on the bones, oh, bones, oh, bones, oh. Hey, they never had such a supper in their life, and the little